Whoa. Hello. I wanted to do a little favorites video for 2025. I feel like sometimes the monthly favorites videos get a little bit watered down because you're just finding new things every single month. And I think it would be more special because I've sat with these things for a year. And some of them I discovered a couple months ago, some of them I discovered at the beginning of the year, and I thought it would be nice to talk about them. To start out with some jewelry, this is my favorite watch. I got it in Boston from this cute little antique store, and the guy fixed it and like sized it to my wrist. And I got an Aura ring this year and I really like it. A lot of people hate on it, but I really enjoy it, and there's a lot of great health insight that I think helps me a lot with like tracking stress, my period, sleep is a big one, and it's like super accurate. Like one day I wasn't feeling well, and the day before I had got like a symptom radar where it was like something's straining in your body, and the next day I like had a fever and I was sick. So I think it's like actually pretty accurate. Or if I get on my bike, after I get off my bike, it'll be like cycling ? Or if I'm doing like housework and I'm like sweeping a lot, it'll be like housework ? So I think it's actually pretty cool and I like it and I think it's worth it. So, I mean, you're already selling so much of your information to the government, so whatever. Also, I got these earrings from my friend that's a jeweler. They're 14 karat gold and I am so happy with them. I was looking for a simple earring to just wear every day. I can't be bothered to wear a million different things. I think just having one solid pair of earrings that I can wear every day for the rest of my life is what means the most to me, rather than changing out my earrings to each outfit. Like, these are pretty timeless. I also found my glasses recently. I had lost them, so I'm so happy to be wearing these again because my eyes, I was like noticing I was squinting everywhere. This is also one of my favorite sweaters. It's from Uniqlo. I did buy it new, which is not like me, but I was really looking for this exact sweater and I could not find it secondhand in the quality that I wanted. This one's 100% wool and I know I will take care of it. Sometimes you buy secondhand natural fibers and they just weren't taken care of. So I did justify buying this one new, but most of the time, don't worry, I shop secondhand. Anywho, I have all of these things laid out. We're sitting in front of my vanity. I have all of these things laid out, so I have a stack of books in front of me. I'm currently reading The Beauty of Everyday Things. I had it in my bag while it was a huge thunderstorm, and it's wet. So it's like super worn in, and it looks like I'm reading really hard. And it's so like messed up. I don't love this book. I actually don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I got about 100 pages in, which is about this much, and it's a beautiful book. Don't get me wrong, totally stand by the sentiments of it, and it talks about Japanese folk craft, not just like artisanal beautiful things, but like the teacup you see at like a 99-cent store, or like just things that are made really, really well, and that's where the beauty is drawn from. And I did take a lot of inspiration away from this book, but I think the author, or maybe it was just the Japanese translation, it was very repetitive. Like I said, I haven't finished the book, so I don't know. The first 100 pages that I read were like over and over and over, like the same concept, and I was like, I get it. So maybe one day I will finish, but I kind of just felt turned off and I didn't feel inspired to reading it. And you know what? Like, reading a book, that's your time and that's your, protect your energy, you know? That's so dumb to say, but I'm just saying, like, the same way you brain rot on TikTok, you can also like brain rot in a book. If it's not serving you, like, you don't need to finish reading a book. That's the first one. Another book I read this year was 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger. I love this book. I will read it again and again and again. I have this really cute copy that was annotated by somebody else, which is kind of cool. I really don't mind reading other people's annotations. Sometimes they do distract me, but I also like to get into the mind of somebody else while reading a book because it gives you new perspectives. Another book I read this year was Kitchen. This is a really fantastic Japanese author named Banana Yoshimoto. This is just a fun, cute little read, and I think it was translated really well. I don't speak Japanese, so I can't contest to the original book, but I really did enjoy the... Someone's moving around out there. I really did enjoy the way that the characters are drawn out, and I really recommend her work. I haven't read too much more from her. Oh my god, my dog just walked in. Who is it? Come up here, who is it? Who is it? Yeah, that's my dog. Yeah, but I recommend this book. I got a book of Japanese short stories that I really enjoyed. I haven't finished it, but I got it because she has another short story in that book. Actually, you know what? Pause. So this is the book. I took the... Oh my god, I'm riling up the dog. I took the cover off because it gets all crazy in my bag. Also, this is a really big, heavy book. Doesn't it just make me look so small and... smart? Yeah, but Banana Yoshimoto has a short story in here. I only got through like 2 of the mini short stories, but like I said, this is a big ass book, so I'm a very slow reader, so maybe I'll get to the rest of it. I was trying to read it in order because I feel like they were probably put in a certain order and meant to read that way, so I didn't want to just skip ahead to the one author I knew, and I was like, I should discover something new. But I might just skip ahead and read the short story from her that I wanted to read. Whatever. Something so important and so special, if you take anything away from this video, is The Memory Palace. It's a podcast, my favorite in the whole world, by Nate DiMeo, and he released a book this year, or it might have been the end of last year, because I think I got this for Christmas, and I read it so fast. Ugh. Everything he does, the podcast, the book, all of it was so fabulous. And it's just like forgotten history. Like that random woman in the early 1800s that ran a marathon, like talked about it. That was a lie. I just came up with something random, but I probably should have like planned this better and told you about like a specific story, but maybe that'll make you think about it more and you'll want to read it because it's really so fabulous, and he has like such a great way with words, and his storytelling and his voice is so like chill. I just cringed while I said that. Yeah, but I really, really, really recommend this. You know what? I'm gonna tell you that it's shit and I hate this book, so maybe you'll want to go and read it and be like, you know what? I'm gonna try that. Another book that I read was Filter World. This book was also quite repetitive, but it talked about algorithms and how they control our daily lives, and it led to my downfall of being on social media. I deleted Instagram off my phone and I only have it on my iPad, so if you follow me on Instagram, just know this is where I'm posting from, my iPad, which I love because I'm so present and connected with my daily world that I'm not just like a cog in the system. But it does feel pretty I completely just lost my train of thought. This was a really good book though. It does, this is what I was gonna say, it does feel pretty repetitive. In every aspect of your life, there are algorithms, whether it be like on Google Maps, they are giving you the top rated cafe to go to, or on Instagram, you're only gonna get the same shit from the same influencers, or Amazon Books curating the same type of books. So you know, like, whenever you go to Letterboxd and like everyone is reading the same, I mean everyone's watching the same movie, or TikTok, everybody's reading the same book because it's all being circled on your algorithm. That actually kind of puts me into a segue. I'm no longer on TikTok, so that is a slur in my household. That segues me into my next topic, which is something so important to me. Since I was a kid, I always, time to time, I always had like a planner or a journal or some sort of something. And when I was on TikTok, I was literally, what's a better word for the word I was about to use? So I'm not gonna tell you what word it was. I don't know, I can't think of a better word, but I was like so locked in to the like stationery and like journaling and academia TikTok. So this is my diary. I've had this one for like almost, let me see, when was my first entry on this? 2023. I don't write in this every day. I will wait a couple weeks, not a couple weeks, but I'll wait a couple days, maybe max a week, to go and write in this, and I'll kind of write like a bunch of pages to recap, because if I write day to day, initially that was my plan, and I was like writing the same thing every day, and I had a boring job, and I was like, I got up and I went to work today, and then the next day I was like, I got up again and I went to work again, and I got really depressed. So I quit that job, and now I have 2 new fun jobs that maybe I'll talk about. This is my diary, so this is so important. I did this collage. Oh, censored. But it's all from vintage Playboy magazines. So that's that. But back to the TikTok, the TikTokification of the whole thing. I was obsessed with those fucking Louise Carmen notebooks, and I was not gonna, well, one, I don't have any plans to go to Paris to get one, and I live in the gorgeous Big Apple, so I just went to the leather district and I got a hide of leather. I actually have so much of this leather that I don't know what to do with, and I've just been holding on to it. I was like, maybe I'll get into bag making, which I'm not gonna do that. This total, like, I put the cute little grommets, I got my little charms, and I put a bow on mine. But I was so obsessed with those fucking Louise Carmen journals. But this notebook actually does serve me very well. I have 2 notebooks in here that I use often. This is like my at-home journal. Like, if I lost this, I would be so mad. So I have a different journal that I carry daily. This is also a home journal. Like, if anybody ever read this, I would be mortified. But I have my 2 journals in here, which I guess I'm just gonna show you now. I got my cute collage that I did. I customized it. We love Canva. And I have this second one. My idea behind all of this was that this one's chronological, and I kind of just do day-to-day things in here. If I went on a date or a movie or whatever, like, I'll collage and journal it in here. Let me see if there's like an appropriate one I can show you guys. Like, I did some watercolors. That one's my boyfriend's. This one's mine. It's my dog. Little collages. Don't zoom in on that. Or like, I went to Lincoln Center. I saw the New York Philharmonic. Was it the New York Philharmonic? It was an orchestra. Went to a museum, you know, you get the gist. But I usually structured this journal month to month. November goals, November reflection, and then in between it'll be like all the things I did in November. So that's that one. And then the second one is more of a very, very loose commonplace journal where I kind of just put everything in here. I went through a phase where I was playing Stardew Valley, so I put my checklist of everything I needed to complete the community center. I keep a wish list in here of things that I want. That is so important. There's so many times that I want to like splurge and buy something, but I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to write it down. And then I write it down, and some of the shit I don't even want anymore. I'm like, I was going through a phase. But I like to like talk about movies, write about movies in here. This was a spread I actually really liked. I watched Punch Drunk Love for the first time, a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and I thought it was so cute, and I really, really liked it. So I wrote about it, but we'll get into the other movies I watched this year and why I liked them. Yeah, but then sometimes like I print stuff out and I'll just like paper clip them because I need to get back to it whenever I have the time. But there's no rules. That's one thing you need to remember in life, is that there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. So one day I got on the train and I walked into this leather store and I was like, I showed them a Louise Carmen journal and I was like, I want to make this. And they were like, here's some leather. And I made this. And I'm not even joking. It was probably, the leather was probably like $100. Everything else, like I had these in my craft drawer. I did have to buy the little grommets or eyelets and the elastic, and this is just a cute little ribbon. Yeah, but then it gets deeper. I have this little one because like I said, I had so much of that fucking leather. I made these for my friends because I like just had so much. But this is my daily driver. This is my little cute little notebook. I actually wrote down everything for this video in my ideas journal, but let me put that back in here so you can see it. So whenever you open, I have my ideas journal. And then I have a picture of my best friend, and that's my boyfriend. The lucky $2 bill. And then this is Ito again. This photo is known as Me Freeze because he's like, oh, he's frozen. That's one of my favorite things. We'll get into this as well, but I love going to karaoke, and there's this really fun karaoke bar if you're ever in Brooklyn. It's called Chino Grande, and I go there for my birthday every year. My boyfriend goes there for his birthday. I got my best friend. We're gonna go for her birthday in January, but it's like actually a nice bar, and it's not a karaoke bar. They just happen to do karaoke, and I think that's the key, because sometimes I'm sorry, I just needed a deep breath. Sometimes I feel like karaoke bars can be like kind of not fun. It's a bunch of like drunk live, laugh, love girls singing John Mayer, which is fine, but I feel like I like a little bit more of a curated crowd, and I feel like because this is like a nicer kind of upscale bar that just happens to do karaoke, it's a really good atmosphere, and everyone that works there is so nice and so friendly, and I always have a blast when I go there. Actually, you know what, instead of getting into that later, that was one of my highlights for the year, was doing karaoke, because it's one of my favorite things to do. I'm just gonna put that all here, so enjoy this. Yeah, but then the next part of my journal is this. I've used so many planners, so many journals, so many different things, and the only thing that really seems to work for me is I make quarterly notebooks. I also don't follow. It kind of is just whenever the next month ends or starts, or whatever month I'm in. So this one is for the end of December through early April. So it's not even starting like on January. That used to drive me crazy. I'm like, it has to start on the new year. And then I think I read a book that talked about like, if you're not going to do something now, you're not going to do it later. So I'm like, oh, I have to wait to start my new journal for January. And this one I literally started in like July. So that was something that was like kind of crazy. I'm a Virgo, so I was like, I have to get it done in January. Like it has to be the way it's supposed to be. But I do all of this manually. Like I have these little stickers and I write what's going on. Like these are the 3 months that I have. And then every day I just write down little check boxes. And sometimes like I put little sticky notes. I'm also in school, so I write down like all my class stuff. I'm going through finals right now. Yeah, so that works for me so much. Like if I don't have a checklist, I don't know what the fuck is going on in my day. And then my next journal is my little watercolor journal that I actually just got. I'm relatively new to watercolor. That was something I picked up this year. I'm by no means an expert, but that's one of the things that I want to do. I watched a video from, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'll link her here. I really like her. She's really sweet. And she did a how to winter well. And one of the things she talked about was like having a seasonal side quest, and that's going to be one of my future seasonal side quests because I already picked one for this season for winter. I am going to get really good at billiards. I've already started. Harry's dad, that's my boyfriend, his dad is like a pool master and like an expert, and they have a pool table in their house. So anytime I go up and visit, I am like, knowledge, tell me more. And he gave me a book, or he let me borrow a book when I was up there, and I actually took notes. Give me a minute. Oh yeah, here it is. Whoa. So my winter side quest, and then I just took notes on the book he gave me. Where was I? So then behind I have like the little Travelers Company, I think it is, the little pocket zipper pouch. And then I have Mr. Met. I became a huge Mets fan this year. My boyfriend loves the Mets, and he did a whole documentary this entire year about the Mets. So I became obsessed with the Mets, and I love them so much. And like, tell me why Mr. Met could low-key get it. Functions as my wallet. I work at a bakery. Somebody tipped me $2, like a $2 bill. That actually isn't the first time that that's happened. Somebody else gave me another $2 bill. and I keep it there. Yeah, but I keep like my credit cards and cash and whatnot back there. This is my pen, the Lamy pen. I really wanted to get into calligraphy and like writing in cursive, and I got this pen and I really do like it, and I feel like it does help me write. It's also just like a really cute pen, and I do like the way it writes and the way that it's structured. It's really easy to hold it the correct way. Did you know you're supposed to hold a pen like that? I always held my, see, with this pen I like forget. I always want to hold my pen like that. Like what type of monster is that? I also like that it has such a big clip on it because it clips on so easily and it just like fits right in there so perfectly. That's so satisfying. So that's my daily driver. Could not live without it. While we're talking about pens, I did want to share some of my favorite pens. I love fine tip pens. This Micron, look, you can't even see that. Look how tiny it is. This is the 003. Sometimes I even find this to be like too small. Or I have the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen in extra small, and this one's bigger than the Micron one, but I really like the Faber-Castell one too, but I can't find this one. But for colored pens, I really like the Pilot G2, but these ones don't really come in smaller sizes, so these ones I kind of just have for fun. I also really like the Muji pens. I didn't bring any with me, but I have a bunch of the Muji pens that I really love. Let's see, what's next? This year, I made a huge big girl decision and I got off of Spotify. Spotify is a slur in this household, and I got an iPod. Spotify, if you don't know, they have AI music and they don't pay their artists. I don't know, I feel like I just didn't have any connection with my music because I was just listening. Like I was like, oh, I love that you can like discover new music. I was never retaining the music because it was just, I would listen to the day list. I would save the music into my liked songs or put it into a playlist, and then I would hear the song in public and I'm like, I couldn't tell you who that artist was or whatever. So I got an iPod and I pirate all my music, but like I know every single song on this little device and it's so cool. I love it. And I got these headphones. I have the original headphones. I got this from an old man on eBay and it actually came with some really great songs, but it came with the original box and the original headphones, and I'm not even kidding. The headphones that it came with were like so elite. They were like naturally pretty noise canceling. The wire and the cord on it was just like so much more hefty than like the ones that you get today. Also, the new phones don't even come with headphones. Like how foul is that? Like whenever they stopped producing iPods, the whole idea was that you could have your iPod in your phone and it came with headphones. I really like over-the-ear headphones because you know, I just have a really dainty small ear canal, so I like the over-the-ear ones. So I actually got these. They're from the 70s, but they're not like overstimulating. I have the AirPods that I'll use sometimes with my phone or if I'm like watching a video, but these I really like, and then I can just like hook them on my bag and then I keep my iPod. But I wanted to share one of my absolute all-time #1 favorite song in the whole world. This song, maybe I won't get copyrighted if it's all-time favorite song. Good luck finding it on Spotify because they took it off a few years ago. Why? I don't know. But that's my favorite song in the whole world. Like year after year, that's it. That's the song. But my favorite band is Glitterer. The lead singer is Ned Russin from Title Fight, and every single thing he has produced or made has been absolutely fabulous. I saw him, he performed at Rough Trade, his like new album, and it was so fabulous. I actually wrote about it in my journal. Yeah, that's him. I got the set list. I was literally standing like he's right here and like I was right here. I was like, I got the CD and I got all of the bandmates to sign. So that was special. Honestly, that wasn't even like the first time I met him. I've seen him perform so many times. I like to joke that maybe he like recognizes me or like knows me. I went to 2 shows like within the same month because he's based in DC, and I made my boyfriend drive me to DC to go see him again. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear the same outfit so that maybe he'll remember me. So I wore this like really cute little dress And I don't know, maybe he did remember me. I don't know. I'll never know, and I don't think I ever will. But that's one of my favorite artists. This is like such a throwback, but since downloading music on my iPod, I've like rediscovered so many bands and artists that I used to love so much but kind of just got lost in my Spotify, and one of them was the Obsessives. I saw them perform in New York, and the lead singer is so psychotic. Okay, that's so bad to say, but like the entire time his back was to the stage, like he was performing that way and we were this way, and I was like, King, turn around, and he didn't. But I kind of respect it. You know what? I respect it. Oh, one of my all-time favorites, Portishead. Anything by them is fabulous. I discovered recently the Sundays. Another YouTuber I like to watch had mentioned them, and I like looked them up, and I had never heard of them, and they seemed like there's no way I hadn't crossed paths with them. Like I probably have, and if I like looked on my Spotify, I might have had like one off song saved from them, but I like, that's a perfect example. I wouldn't have remembered because I'm just not connected to my music in that way until now. Yeah, but I could go on and on about music. I'll just leave you with that for now. I wanted to also talk about some skincare. One of my all-time favorite brands. So I used to be a former like 100-step skincare routine just because I fell for the capitalism of all of it, and I'm a Virgo. I'm like predisposed to like routines, so I was especially like, I fell victim, but I've really toned it down. But one of my all-time favorite brands, you can only buy it online, is Shar's Effectiveness Skincare. Everything that this goddess of a woman does is so good. I cannot speak highly enough of it. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce this, but this retinol alternative, I love it. I used to use the creamy one, but I switched over to this one, and it is so divine. It makes my skin so gorgeous. I only use it at night. I also use her niacinamide AM and PM, and I use her eye cream. Her stuff is so good, and she's so transparent. Like, you could read on the website, she clearly cares so much about this business and this brand. But those are the only 3 things I use. Like, I use these 2 in the morning and evening, this one in the nighttime, and then I recently just got this moisturizer. I was honestly just using CeraVe before. CeraVe with a little bit of like castor oil I would mix into it, just because in the winter time I need that extra moisture. But I switched over to this one because this one seemed very hydrating as well, and I like it so far. I still have so much of it, like I literally just got it, so I might need to think about if I'm gonna repurchase it. But I don't know what it is, but this like crinkly this type of packaging, it's like the one you can like twist under. I love how easy it is to get everything out of it, so that might have been a selling factor for me in wanting to buy this, because of how easily you can get things out of it. Like, I keep my CeraVe in this little glass jar, but then I can never get all of it out. Like, it has the pump on it, which is convenient, but there's always going to be a little bit of product like left, and I just keep refilling it. I also found out that I have folliculitis on my face, and it was recommended to use SPF 110. I don't like this sunscreen. It's very greasy, even though it says oil free. It is not, but it works. I also like this one, but this one's also greasy, so I don't think I would repurchase either of those. Let me know if you have a sunscreen you like that's like actually a higher SPF. This is one of my old notebooks, but I have so much information on here from the beginning of the year. I used to use a bigger format until I switched to this size. You see the difference? But I wanted to talk about some of the movies I watched in the beginning of the year, because I feel like I only remember things that I watched a couple months ago. Like, I watched Punch Drunk Love a couple months ago, and I loved that movie. I watched Natural Born Killers. That was super good. Juliette Lewis is in it, and what's that other guy? I was gonna say Bradley Cooper. That is not Bradley Cooper. Woody Harrelson. He's in it, and it's so good. You should watch that movie, and Punch Drunk Love. Well, while I'm thinking about recent movies I watched, what else did I watch? Bringing Up Baby by Howard Hawks. That's like a good like 1930s movie about this like super eccentric woman that somehow has a tiger or a leopard, and she's like trying to win over the love of this man. Something Wild. I love that movie. I watched it earlier this year. It's just a wild movie. Like, it's called Something Wild, and it's like part rom-com, part like thriller, but not thriller, part like twist. But I love that movie. It kept me on my toes. I was locked in the whole time. 5 stars. Anything I rated under 3 stars, I'm not telling you guys about. Oh, The Stepford Wives. It's like a crazy satire about like housewives and how they like robotify themselves. It's crazy. It's really good though. One of my all-time favorite movies is LOL with Miley Cyrus. I love that movie. Oh, one of my other all-time favorite movies that I watched this year, I watch it like once every year, is Stuck in Love. Absolutely gorgeous, phenomenal movie. I love that movie so much. Everyone should go watch that. It's like a good depressing movie, but it has a gorgeous soundtrack. Let's see, what else did I do this year that's worth mentioning? I ate really good this year. I took a lot of pride in plating my food. I had fabulous dining experiences. For my anniversary with my boyfriend, he took me to the Plaza, which was super fabulous. We had been there before. It's kind of like a little tradition that we go there for our anniversary each year. I actually got so much inspiration that I tried to like have that experience at home. So this is a few of the things that I did at home to try and make it feel more elevated. Sometimes I can struggle with like eating habits and I just eat for substance and I'm like, I just need to eat something to check the box. Whenever you like put so much time and effort and like excitement into eating, I feel like that makes me feel so much better. So that was something I was really proud of this year. Let's see, what else? I had a bunch of stuff written in my ideas journal. Oh, one thing I really want to get into maybe next year that I really like touched on this year was birds. I love birds so much. I put a bird feeder outside my house and so many birds were coming to that feeder and it was just like such a driving force for keeping me going was seeing those birds. I feel like Tony in The Sopranos with the ducks. I also like don't watch that show, but my boyfriend's watching it, so I know a little bit about it, but it's just too misogynistic for me to watch. So I know a lot of the jokes because he tells me, he like filters it out for me. Love him. Oh, I got really crafty this year. I mean, I've always been crafty and I like to sew. I did get into candle making, which was really fun, and it's so easy. You can do it at your house, and I was just getting mad because I would burn a candle so fast and then I'd have to go out and buy another one. I was like, I wish I could just refill this vessel. I made a lot of bread. I have a sourdough starter that I made myself. Here are some of my lofianas. I initially wanted to show you guys some of the stuff I made, like sewing. I don't feel like going and digging them out, so I'm just gonna share pictures of them and we can all gawk at them together. Another one of my favorites this year was my bag. I got this secondhand at a really cute store in the city. It's in Gramercy. And this is a Brave brown bag. It's like this waxed cotton. I think it's so chic. And it just, you could just tell like the craftsmanship is so delicious. Oh, I also wanted to talk about back to my watercolor excursion. This vintage cigarette case functioned as my wallet. And I kind of stopped using it after I kept my cards in my journal. And I was kind of depressed that I like didn't use this anymore because it was like a staple in my everyday carry for years. So I repurposed it into a little watercolor kit. And then I have this little pouch, I have a pencil, and I have a watercolor brush. I like just adapted this, so I really haven't used it. So I could go sit in the park, paint. Next, I wanted to share some of the secondhand items that I have sourced. I'm not even going to consider this like thrifting because none of these things came from a thrift store. And I think that kind of is just like a buzzword where people are like, come thrift with me in New York City. And then they take you to like the cutest, most expensive little boutique in the Lower East Side. So I'm not going to play you like that. First, I have this Laura Ashley dress. I think these colors look so good on me. And it's a long dress. I don't even think this was very expensive. I got it from other people's clothes. And I think this was maybe like, I don't think more than $40. Next, this is a little bit of a loud dress for me, but I think the dress and the silhouette is just so perfect. And it has a gorgeous drop waist. I got these dresses at the same time, and how I got so lucky to find them both, I don't know. This was also from other people's clothes, probably around the same price. This one might have been cheaper because it's not like a Laura Ashley brand. This piece, a while back, I used to work at Dover Street Market and I discovered this brand called Egg Trading, and they're so cool. I scored this piece on eBay. Beautiful stitching. It like just falls right at your hips. Definitely one of my favorite pieces. I know I'll have it forever. And retail, this brand is probably like in the $800 price range. I did spend, I think, $150 on this. I feel comfortable spending that amount on this versus like $100 on fast fashion, because this is so versatile and like it's so nice. Like I love a good hefty fabric, like something that is quality and you could tell that it's well made. That's for me. And that's it for the clothes. I think that was actually it for my little recap. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel so inspired and so ready to conquer 2026 intentionally, intuitively, and fabulously, because that's what I'm planning on doing. I don't even think I have a resolution. I think I just like every year I'm like, I'm gonna be a better person. And I think that should go for everybody. So if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you. I love being listened to. Have a great day, a great year, and maybe you'll see me again. Maybe you won't. So if not, thank you.